Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
All right.
I look forward to it. You got to start it off with all right.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence. I am Doc, and always with my man here, Coach KJ.
KJ. All day. Every day. What's up, man?
Starting off a good week, man. Starting off to another good week. How is your week going, man?
You know,
what you bring into the world this week?
I bring love.
I think I just threw up in my cup. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud?
I'm sitting in that love moment.
He's sitting in something. Starting to stink up in here.
So mean.
Shit.
Oh, lonely ass.
I ain't fucking happy. I live a stress-free, drama-free life.
Oh, boy. I'm going to put my glass back on so I can see that bullshit that you was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stress-free, drama-free life. That's how it should be. Mm-hmm. And why? Because I know how to handle my shit.
This is true.
And
I give you that.
We're gonna teach y'all today how to handle your shit.
Oh, boy.
Dude, I'm drinking this tea it's called a bourbon vanilla black spice black tea.
Is it bourbon in it?
No, but I think they probably aged it in like a bourbon barrel or did something. I don't know.
Man, you need to put some bourbon in that then.
Today I get real fucking interesting. I get bourbon in this.
Need to spice it up. You know, since we
stop making drinks for y'all.
But you can always go back and pull up your favorite cocktail when you're listening or watching.
When we go live, we might start having a drink with y'all.
At the park.
Yeah, we might just do that.
Little sippy cups.
No, I'm talking about when we go live when we start doing this live.
Yes.
We might bring that back to let y'all sip with a brother.
I think that's it, man. I think that's going to really, really punch them.
Yeah.
That way people can talk to us.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I don't know if they're ready for that, man. I don't know if they're ready, but we'll see. We're going to see. What else you got planned for this week, man, to sort of jumpstart life?
Resolving conflicts within self.
Yeah.
You know? Learn how to have that resolution of conflict within self. I mean, it is what it is. We all have them. Some people listen to them. Some people run from them. Some people run to them, you know?
People need to learn how to have conversations with themselves.
Yeah.
You know? Don't be afraid to stand in front of the mirror and be like, all right, this is what I'm trying to do today.
Right.
This is what I'm trying to do this week. Where do I start? Put the first foot in front of the other one.
Right.
Start there.
Right.
You know? And so, yeah, and you're going to come across battles.
Yeah. You get a lot of people that say, you know, they approach things when we talk about conflict within self. Man, I hate when I do that. Damn, I hate. You know what? Why don't you dress it this way? I hate when I do that. What are we going to do differently? You address it like you're trying to address it.
As opposed to just saying, I hate when I do that and accepting that's what it is.
Exactly.
I hate when I do that, but that's just how I am.
No level of acceptance,
No level of accountability.
Exactly. That's how
self-accountability.
Easy to put it on other people.
It's your fault. It's your fault that I'm shitty.
Yeah.
When has that ever been a thing? Or it's my parents' fault that I'm shitty at 55?
Bro.
Nah. Bro. It may have been your parents' fault when you were 20. It ain't your parents' fault now.
You send me 5 million posts. I send you maybe 500,000 back. And they all come out to the same thing.
Yep. It's a common theme.
It's looking outside of instead of looking within. Man, you better talk to yourself.
On a good note,
hit me.
Deal has finally been iced. Ethiopia, that project we're doing with the kids, full announcements coming soon, but it's great.
I'm shivering
It's great. It's done.
because it's on ice.
Dude, it's done. It's a done deal, and now it's
Congratulations,
time. Now it's time to get to work.
Congratulations. That's
Time to
awesome.
get to work.
You've been at it for a while with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's time. It's gonna do some good things, man. And it's time to make this shit happen. Mm-hmm. So, announcement coming soon. I'm expecting all of y'all within the sound of my voice to help me make this shit great.
Talk to me. There
So,
you go.
We'll keep you guys posted. And you'll go to thehuntfoundation.org and you'll see it all. Let's talk about conflicts, man, and conflict resolution. It's funny when people hear the word conflict. Mm-hmm. The first thing that comes to mind, war.
Yep.
You know, you look
Some
at
level of fighting.
some level of fight. You look at Ukraine. You look at the civil wars in Ethiopia and other countries. You look at the conflict within this country, and people forget to look at the conflict within self,
Correct.
because that internal conflict, that battle that we all fight every day, or that we should be fighting every day, is what keeps us from resolving the external conflicts appropriately.
Yeah.
Just a thought to kick this shit off.
And there you go. That's the end of the show.
Deuces, y'all. I got shit to do.
For real though, man. You know, it always comes back to self, no matter what that conflict is.
So it's funny because people are always like, dude, you don't like to argue.
No.
I don't argue. I have logical discussions. I'm not, and so I have a couple friends that I was like, you just always want to prove yourself right. No, I always like to prove my point to you that I'm making. Whether that opinion is right or wrong is up for you to decide. But I want to get my point across and make sure that it's understood.
It's the way it's perceived, man.
Yeah. And if somebody else's thought process doesn't make sense, and I tell them it doesn't make sense, then they get defensive. I want to fight.
Well, they get defensive even if you're not combative to their thought. You're asking a question of why they're thinking what they're thinking. Help me understand that. Even if you ask that question, there's still there's this tug, this anger, this defensiveness. They're on their heels. You didn't do anything to force that.
Think about the battles fought between men and women. Think about a simple discussion. So, and it's not even people that I've dated or just friends of mine, but say female friends of mine. If I'm having a discussion, the one thing I was hearing, well, it's not that simple. I just gave it to you in a simple form, which means it is that simple. Most people want to complicate problems more than they need to be. If you just take a step back, get outside of your head, because it's really nice out here, and just say, okay, let me listen to this first before I react. Because there's nothing good about trying to resolve a conflict or trying to resolve a disagreement when you react instead of just acting. If you're always reacting, you're not solving shit, you know? And then it makes me wonder, what the fuck is going on in your head that you can't take a step back and just listen before you react? Think about all these podcasts that we watch or listen to.
Yes.
And it's a panel. And how you can't get a word in edgewise.
Right.
You see people who like to talk.
Yeah.
And somebody's trying to finish their point, and you keep getting cut off, keep getting cut off.
Yeah. Think about all the problems that, let's say, they're struggling with facing with you in that moment. It's not you in that moment. It's all the past shit that's in their head,
Right.
that's feeding into that moment. All of it.
Yeah. And because of that, as you're trying to get your point out, or you're trying to, what people don't realize the conversation is, I say something, you respond.
It's called a conversation.
And not necessarily a debate, but I'm saying a point, you can respond to the point. When you're trying to respond to what I'm saying before I finish it, you're responding to a half statement that your response may not even be appropriate for because you didn't hear the ending. It's like I'm telling you a story, and you're already deciding how you feel about the story, even though it may have a happy ending, but you're assuming it's a shitty story, so I'm going to respond to that part of it.
Do you think that some people just actually like the idea of being in conflict?
People like to fight.
Yeah.
And people are going to hate me for saying this. Women like drama. And not necessarily bad drama. Women just thrive off of that emotional roller coaster. I said it before on the podcast. Women are a walking ball of hormonal ups and downs that flip up and down at any moment in time. And I'm not going to base it all on hormones, but that's what gives women mood swings and highs and lows of the highs are very high and the lows are very lows. Whereas dudes go through highs and lows, but their highs and lows are just like little dips and valleys.
Yeah.
Instead of mountains and valleys, it's speed bumps of highs and lows.
Got me thinking about like barbecues. You know, when you're trying to start that fire in the coals, women are like when you just keep dousing gasoline on it, it's flame up, burn your eyebrows. Yeah. But men are like just the coals simmered over.
Yeah, and
just stay high.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, those highs and lows, the emotional roller coaster is part of what makes up their being. But in a conflict resolution aspect, it doesn't fare well. So when you're trying to resolve a difference of opinions, emotion shouldn't come into that resolution process. It's taken into consideration that I understand how you feel about this. But that just because you feel a certain way about something doesn't mean it's the best way to handle that situation.
Comes back to emotional intelligence.
You know, and being emotional. You know, just like with dudes, people who have anger management issues don't know how to resolve conflicts.
Right.
And so their go-to is to just, I used to be that kid.
Did you really?
Oh, man. I had, up until I was probably 10, 11 years old, I used to see red. But it was only with my brother and sister.
Why is that?
I don't know.
You know, just
it
hot.
was, you poke me like this. And it's because I was real little, too.
Okay.
And my brother used to like to fuck with me all the time. And so
I believe that.
You poke me, I'm going to sit there. And he'd keep doing this. Keep poking. And then I would snap.
Because he knew.
And it was one of those things where any and everything, if I could pick it up, I was swinging it, whatever it was.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you were hostile.
Oh, threw a knife at my brother once, cut him on his arm. I threw a brick at him once. Didn't care.
Wow.
I would see literally blazing red.
Wow.
Threw a baseball, put a dent in the wall, you know. He would do it, and then he'd run and go lock himself in the bedroom or the bathroom, and I'd be outside fuming, trying to kick the door and do all. And then it'd go away. Then after a while, when we started getting closer in size and age, we just decided one day we're getting too old for this shit. And been cool ever since. Yeah. But it was...
Had to, because y'all became partners.
Yeah. And, you know, it was one of those things where that anger management needed to be something that I had to resolve within myself in order to understand, like, dude, this shit's not good.
Wow.
But outside the home, I was fine. Outside the home was cool as a cucumber.
Okay.
Like, people, when I was in school, things like that, they couldn't push my buttons. And conflicts used to arise all the time. They couldn't push my buttons. I'd just be like, and even now, people can't push my buttons. It's just, I'll talk shit sometimes. I'll make them feel stupid, or I'll just look at them like, all right, whatever. They try because they want that fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but the anger part,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist anymore. Thank God. I'd probably be dead by now if it did.
You wouldn't be a doctor.
Dude, not only that, I'd literally probably be dead by now because I would have snapped on the wrong person. Yeah. And they would have just snuffed my ass out.
Yeah. I've never been like that. Ever. As a matter of fact, we're currently kind of in a relative conflict with, a neighbor.
Yeah.
But, I'm cool. Like, I have nothing to say. She says something, hey, I'll just let her know about herself. But you're not going to get me in an uproar about it.
And it's, in certain scenarios, the best resolution to a conflict is to walk away. Mm-hmm. Walking away from a stranger is easy. You're in a conflict with your wife, you can't walk away.
Right.
You're in a conflict with a sibling, you can't really walk away. You got to come back. You got to face it at some point.
Right.
And so what's the right time to try to resolve conflicts? In the moment? Or do you pause, be like, can we come back to this? Take a step back and then come back to it. Or do you try to resolve it right then and there?
I think that just depends on the situation. I think it depends on the person. With my wife and I think we've kind of come to this, speaking on where we are in our relationship, I think we've kind of come to this place where I'm able to get into that moment at that moment. But if I'm not there, I say, give me a minute. I'll get back to you on that. I'll let you know how I feel. I'm not feeling it right now, but I will come back to it. As opposed to old me just shut down and like, I don't want to deal with any of it. And that's even worse.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that though.
Yeah.
Rather than deal with the issue at hand,
oh yeah,
they just disappear. They just shut it down and be like, fine, whatever. And it's not fine. It's not whatever.
No.
But you're just like.
But that behavior manifests in other ways. Always comes out differently.
Yep.
You snapping on people at work. You are doing stupid shit. You know what I mean? There is no something not happening.
Yeah.
There's always something that's going to happen. It may not come out in that moment, but it'll come out somewhere else or with the person that you're having a conflict with.
Yeah. And as well as we talked about being able to walk away, look at all of these road rage incidents, and I have friends that I know who will flash back and they'll snap back at somebody for going off on them on the road. And I'm just like, and I used to always be like, yeah, they cut you off. So what? But it wasn't the fact that that person cut them off. It was the last thing that made them snap from all the other shit that was brewing. And then this person had the audacity to cut me off. If you were having a great day and somebody cut you off, you would just hit the brakes and then just keep it moving.
Right.
But because your day has been going shitty, now you want to take it out on the person that cut you off, and all of a sudden you're going to lose your life because you don't know how to just breathe in that moment and just, you know what? It ain't that serious.
Because you don't know what that person has.
They could be going through some shit just like you, and you flashing at them might set them off worse than you.
And let alone if they're in a shitty vehicle. They don't care.
They don't care.
They will run you over.
And I think too many people, think about how many young black men got killed because somebody stepped on their J's. Think about, how people don't fight anymore.
Oh my God. Lay
even
hands?
Kids. Think about kids. People are like, you shouldn't fight. Well, no, sometimes you fight as men or as boys because that's just what you do to resolve that conflict.
Right.
But people don't do that anymore.
Right.
People get swung on. They're like, let me go get my gun.
What Chris Rock say? Everybody needs a bullet. These kids don't know how to fight anymore. You don't know how to deal with resolution.
It's true.
You know how to resolve that situation.
It's true.
You know how to get out of it. You know, you need a bully every once in a while.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
You know, and then as you get older, you realize resolving conflicts with violence, nobody ever wins in that scenario. That's why we always say war, nobody wins in war. It's just who fucking loses the least, you know? And the same thing in your personal life. If your personal life resorts to violence, whether it's in a marriage or friends, whatever it may be, then you've already lost that conflict. You know,
It's gone way too far.
You've already lost that shit.
And it happens.
You know, I've been around where there's been with you and there's been conflicts at work. You know what I mean? And you've handled it very well. But I guess people handle conflicts differently based on their own temperament. You know, and based on their ability to wrap their head around the consequences.
I'm thinking about when the you people.
Yeah, right.
Oh, but you know, also, I think that, you know, one, I don't like to fight. Don't want to fight. Don't want to be in a position where I have to fight. I've been in a position where I had to fight or ready to fight.
Yeah.
And it's not good because I get there, I'm gone. You know, I'm hot. I start crying. I start sweating.
It's done at that point.
I'm ready. If I start crying, you better run. Because
tell you the same thing. My brother and I the same way. If a tear drops from me in anger, I don't care who you are. There's nothing or no one pulling me back to that other side. If I can't do it myself, y'all just need to let the chips fall where they may.
Oh, bro, and it takes time.
That hasn't come out in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
But I know that.
Mine was a lot more recent.
But I know that if I get angry enough where I shed a tear, there's zero chance that anyone's going to say anything to me that's going to matter.
Yeah. I think the blessing that both of us have also is we're quick with it. So if it's an exchange of words, I'm on you.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to let you get me there.
Yeah.
You don't matter enough to get me there.
Right. And I will tell you, you don't matter enough. But I won't even say to get me there. I'll just say you don't matter enough, which is also fighting words.
Fight me if you want,
right?
But you don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight you because clearly I got way more to lose than you.
Right.
If you're trying to fight me, that means you don't have shit to lose.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fight you then. We're good.
Yeah.
You know, and be careful how you respond to people's bullshit. And I say this meaning if you're trying to resolve issues with another party, watch what you put in writing. Never, ever, 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 ever send an email or a text when you're angry.
Nope.
You can say shit all day because it's your word against theirs. Say you're having a battle with somebody at work, your boss, you're an underling, a coworker, whatever it may be. Don't ever send shit in an email out of anger. You can say some shit, follow it up with an email. As I stated previously, Miss So-and-so or Mr. Johnson, here's what I feel would be a resolution to this issue. And then you turn your head, nah, fuck that shit, blah, 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 blah. But you do not put that.
Speak in your Obama voice, not your, that dude behind you voice.
You know, not the Barry voice.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to you like Barack.
Yeah, not Barry. Not Barry. That's what it was. Barry Obama.
Right.
But it's real.
It's the truth.
You have got, beauty of now is technology. If there's an email or message and something you have to say.
It lasts forever.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you delete shit, wish you could pull it back, it's forever.
Go on AI, put that shit in, spit out something that's reasonable.
They got people that can help you with that. They got it's not even people. You got a program that can help you with that. They've already
And you don't even have to download it. I mean, just
get some help.
yeah. Don't say what you're thinking.
That coworker that's just rubbing you wrong on a daily basis. For example, like when I talk to my staff, I always tell them, handle it amongst yourselves. Bring it to me when you can't, because me resolving it for you is usually never going to be what any of you want. So, yeah, it's going to be what I want.
Yeah.
And probably won't sit well with you. So handle it the best way you can, and make sure when you're about to send me that email, you wait and try to handle it again. Because once you send it to me and then you send me an email saying I fixed it, too late.
Yeah.
You involve me.
Yeah.
Now I got to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so people don't realize that's why HR was built in the first place. For conflict resolution. HR isn't there because everything's going well. HR is there for when shit's not.
Which is probably why people that are in HR have issues with everybody else in their world. They struggle because they're dealing with other people's shit all day long. I've seen that.
Interesting story about conflict resolution. I was in high school.
Okay.
And people, my brother and I and my friends, and a couple of my friends, we used to always, people didn't like us. And I'll tell you why. Because our town, our school was very segregated just because. Black folks hang with black folks, white folks hang with white folks, and there wasn't many of any other people. But if you played sports,
that's when the union came.
You were all here. And so a lot of the black people we grew up with didn't like us because they said we thought we were better than them because we had white friends. A lot of the white people didn't like us because we were black. And we hung out with the athletes, so we all liked each other. And then because we were smart, we hung out with all the nerds too. So it was just a good combination of people. But that used to just cause conflicts for no reason. And a lot of these young girls, they'd get mad at their boyfriends and then be like, well, that's why I'm seeing Gino, or that's why I'm seeing Lay. That's what, just to piss them off, because everybody knew who we were. So I remember one day, and this was handled so well. This guy in our school, you know, he was old dog. You know what I'm talking about, right? He was that guy.
Got it. Oh, I got that.
Yeah.
You say that, I'm like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's in prison now for killing somebody. But he was that guy. And younger than us, so he had things like 10th, 11th grade, something like that at the time, 9th, 10th grade, whatever. And so one day, my brother and I sitting there talking, and then bell rings, we're going to class. I'm walking to class, my brother's going to his class. I just see a group of dudes just break out running past me. And then I see another group of people running by. They're like, dude, he's about to go, you know, they're about to go get your brother. And I, you know me, I'm like, shit. So I turn around and run over there.
Right.
And I see old boy stand in front of my brother with his squad. And what's interesting, nothing happened because old boy approached my brother and was like, look, my boy said that I should just kill you, but I wanted to have a man-to-man conversation.
About what?
He's like, my brother's like, what are you talking about? He's like, so word on the street is that, you know, I was told that you were dating my baby's mama.
In high school. Wow.
Yeah, that you dating, you know, that basically you've been hooking up with my baby. And my brother was like, dude, I don't even know who your baby's mama is. And he says her name. He's like, dude, I don't know who that is.
Right.
And he was like,
you told me this story.
He's like, I kind of thought so.
Yeah.
And he's like, but she told me, I think now, he's like, now that I'm sitting here talking to you, I realized that she told me that to try to piss me off. He's like, but by doing so, it put us in this space. And, you know, we all played on the same football team, you know, and it was like, he just kind of, and I'm standing there like, damn, we both gonna die today. This is not cool. You know, like, I'm standing off to the side, them two are there, and I'm just watching like, oh, what's really about to happen? There's no good that's about to come from this.
Wow.
And I'm just sitting there like, huh. All right, I guess this is what happens. Right? And then they just kind of pounded each other up and bounced. And because I didn't hear the conversation, because I was off to the side with it, like with everybody else, Gino told me later, this is what happened. Wow. Kind of crazy.
So Gino didn't even know the girl.
Never met her, didn't know who she was.
How did she know your brother?
Everybody knew our names, man.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're going to piss off your dude,
say the name
say the popular
that
dudes.
pisses people off. Say the popular dude name that pisses people off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It could be anybody.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because it could have been you.
Got yeah, could have been me, could have been him.
Yeah.
Could have been any one of us.
But he's a senior, too. Wow. Go figure.
Yeah. And so where the problem started wasn't that conflict. It was him and his girl not knowing how to resolve that conflict.
Yes. It's all the previous stuff leading into.
And and then as I've gotten older and dated and all this stuff, what's interesting, when men and women have conflicts, a lot of times, women will try to cut you deep. When they want to get back, women will routinely go below the belt.
Absolutely.
They will routinely go below the belt.
They will try to belittle.
With the dude and with each other.
Every experience that I've had, they try to belittle.
Think about this. And we've talked about this before. Me and you have a conflict. We could battle it out in here. Tomorrow, hey man, what you doing? We still training? You know what I mean? Because you got it out.
Exactly.
Hey man, we still gonna do this live on Saturday? Because we battled it out. It may have resolved, it may not have, but we're done. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Growing up, you and your boys could box and then sit and play video games the next hour. Right. You could be playing video games, go at it because you're mad or whatever, and then on to the next game. Women don't do that. Women get into a conflict with their girlfriend or with another woman, that friendship is over. They don't.
Oh, they're there.
They don't forgive and forget.
Yeah. And even if they make a futile attempt to try to resolve, they try to come back to where they are now, not resolving what happened.
Yeah.
And it just never
doesn't work that way. And
it's never ever works.
It's the wildest thing, but it happens often.
Yeah.
You know, and again, nothing's universal, but shit, it happens a lot.
Yeah. Which is the reason why, like, say, for instance, if, you know, man and woman have issues, and, you know, time goes by, he's like, you know, I'm cool. I mean, she was a cool person. I like her. She's not the same.
Nah, you ain't cool. You ain't cool no more.
You know, even if you try to say, hey, listen, I want to apologize for the way I acted or whatever, she will squash it right
because
then
think
and
about
there.
it, even as a man, if you're wrong and you know you're wrong, eventually you'll be like, shit, all right, that was my bad.
Yeah.
How do I squash this? I can't make her let it go, but how do I squash this? We'll take accountability for it at some point and then just be like, or we'll die with the lie. It's going to be one of two things, you know?
Yeah.
But we want to resolve the issue. As men, we want to resolve the conflict, whether it's by laying hands, whether it's by arguing, getting it done. We want this to be over. Women want to sit in it. They want to figure out why it's happening. Right. They want to figure out every scenario around the conflict. Why did it occur? When did it start? When did this all come from? How is it going to affect us in the future?
What was I doing or wearing or being at that time so I can recall, so I know I'm not going to wear that outfit again, or I'm not going to do this again.
Not only that, well, I don't understand why this bothers you. Why it bothers me isn't the issue. The fact that it bothers me should be enough to say, let's resolve this.
Yeah.
Not talk around it and try to find ways of, well, maybe you shouldn't let it bother you. Right? And isn't that usually the case? Maybe you shouldn't let it bother you. You hear that all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, but it does.
It does. Yeah.
Can you at least acknowledge that some shit bothers me?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about, okay, well, if whatever this is bothersome to me and you can't let it go, then we need to ask ourselves why you can't let it go, not why it bothers me. Mm-hmm. But people don't want to do that because people always want to put it, it's your problem. I'm this way, it's your problem. Instead of just saying, well, I'm acting a certain way and it's not conducive to this relationship.
Right.
Do I have to act this way? Let me look at myself first, and then I can ask, well, what is it about the way I'm acting that bothers you?
Well, you just said two distinct things. Why am I acting this way versus I am this way? So you're owning who you are, that this is just the way it's going to be. This is the energy and this is how I'm going to act versus I'm acting a particular way at this time. And why am I acting this way towards you or towards myself in this moment?
So
two distinct things.
I'm going to say something that might sound kind of crazy, but sit with it for a second.
All right.
Nobody is what they are. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We all act according to the environment around us.
Correct.
There's nothing about us that is set in stone. Our foundation is laid, but our foundation can shift and change based on the ground that it's built on. The house that's built shifts and changes based on the remodeling we do as we age and grow and all of that. The foundation will be firm, but it's not, we're never who we are.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. And I'm very appreciative of that because one of the things I've kind of acknowledged, especially recently, people, you hear this all the time. Live your authentic life. Be your most authentic self. Your authentic self is who you are at that time.
In that moment.
In that moment. Not
I may be different.
Who you think you should be.
Yeah.
That's not authentic. Who you were, that's right now.
I'm this right now. You could say something to me 2 seconds that may change who I am in that moment.
Exactly.
Because I'm responding in that moment to an external stimulus. Mm-hmm. And we are just a sum of our experiences, and and we adapt, we evolve, we grow, we shrink, we do all of these things based on what is presented to us. And so when you're trying to resolve a conflict, you have to be able to adapt to who that person is in that moment. Try to gain a better understanding of who that person is in that moment. Don't try to resolve a conflict based on your past experience with them, because whatever is bothering them or whatever this battle is between the two of you has changed both of you in that moment.
Right.
And so being able to sit back and just hear someone out is a skill in itself. And we as men are better at it because we have less to say. Mm-hmm. It's a known fact that we just speak less. We may not listen more, but we speak less.
Absolutely.
And so, ladies, when your guy finally is like, I have something to say, before you cut him off, let him say it. Even if you think it's a flat out lie, let him finish the lie, and then you start to poke holes in it. Because what may start out sounding like a lie may come full circle to the truth, or it may not be a lie or truth. It's just an opinion. And if he's saying something, if someone is saying something about you that they are having issues with, it doesn't make it right or wrong. It just means
That's what the issue.
that's what the issue is. My opinion is my opinion. It's not right or wrong. Don't battle me on something that I have an opinion about. Just hear the opinion, and it's okay to disagree with it.
Right. Don't battle me for something that's not yours.
Yeah. Right? For real. 100%, man.
Yeah.
But people do it all the time, and they don't know how to just sit back, take that opinion in. Everybody has this need to be right. Yeah. Even in a scenario where there is no right or wrong, they still have the need to, I want you to have my opinion. And we're going to sit here until our opinions are the same.
Right.
Yeah, that's no. And I'm the king of being like, you know what? I'll go back and forth with you a little bit because it's fun to debate from time to time if it's a healthy debate. But when it becomes an unhealthy debate, I'll quickly cut it off and be like, you know what? We're just going to agree to disagree. We can agree on that aspect.
Absolutely.
That you and I are not going to come to the same conclusion, and that's okay. Can you live with that? Because I can.
But what I find, especially for me, because I know you, is that someone's going to combat you because they're wanting to be right versus you're trying to open up their bandwidth. You're trying to expand their thought pattern on how they see things. So it's not just one way. There are other ways, but they have their way, which is the only way they know. And they're so busy trying to put it on you to have that one way.
You can't argue with narrow-minded people. And not even argue. You can't debate narrow-minded people. Because when you can only see your point of view and only one, I take that back. When you're only willing to accept your point of view, because you can only see through your eyes. I can't see what you see.
Right.
But I can paint a mental picture of what you're seeing if I just shut the F up and listen. Mm-hmm. You know, but so many people are so narrow-minded that they refuse to try to see a different point of view. Mm-hmm. And because of that, a lot of the times those people are the people who aren't successful. They're unhappy. Their relationships are unhealthy. You know, they're always bitching and moaning about how life isn't fair and all of that shit. And no, life is what it is. It's not fair or unfair. It's just sometimes you're dealt a great hand, sometimes you're dealt a shitty hand, but it's all about how you play the hand that matters.
Right.
Take a shitty hand and bluff. Life is great.
Right.
Take a great hand and come up with somebody with a better one. Life to you is going to seem shitty.
You know, they're not being authentic with themselves in that time. But at the same time, a lot of times what they'll do is, if they're not that way, placing on others, there'll be toxic positivity. You know what I mean? They're going out of their way to pretend to be something that they're not, being positive. Yeah. You know, I call it toxic positivity. You know, it's like, no, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
No, not in this moment. We're having a little conflict, and no.
Well, they're always trying to convince the other side of the disagreement that things are fine.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at you dead in your face, that whole concept of I'm fine. No, you're not.
Yeah.
I know you're not fine. You just need to.
I see your jawbone moving up and down.
Right.
you grit your teeth.
Why you all strong, John? Me.
You're right.
You know?
Why your shoulders touching in the front?
You know, but people want to. It's like you said earlier. I'm fine and shut down.
Yeah.
That's not conflict resolution.
No.
That's conflict avoidance.
Yeah.
And that shit doesn't work either. You know, people try to say they try to avoid conflicts at all costs. Then you're going to avoid life, because life is full of conflicts. I mean, shit, you got conflicts in yourself that you need to fight, that you need to battle those demons. You can't avoid them, because if you avoid those demons, they're going to come out when you don't want them to, and other people are going to see them. So learn how to deal with those internal conflicts before you present yourself to the world and try to fight people on theirs.
Yeah. So like those conflicts that we have where I have to take a step back, I'm like, let me think on that. A lot of times I have to assess myself and like, oh, where do I stand with that? You know, you're coming at me about me. I need to see, is that true?
Or why does that bother me?
Exactly.
You're coming at me. Why am I bothered by that? Why am I
Right.
bothered? Hold on. Let me take a step back and be like, why does that upset me? Because you're voicing an opinion about something about me.
I have to ask myself, is it true?
Because you don't always see what others see about you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people got to show you yourself. They got to hold the fucking mirror up and be like, Kenny, take a look. This is what I see. Now, this may not be what you're presenting to me or what you mean to portray, but if that's what I'm seeing, then you need to go back and be like, oh, well, shit, that's not what I meant to show you. But people can't do that. Well, I can't help what you see, and you're wrong. And no. You can't tell me my eyes are deceiving me.
And that's when you go, there it is right there.
If you're a devil in a blue dress, I don't see an angel.
You're like, there's a reason why I said what I said. It's right there.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing out to yourself.
Yeah. You may want me to see different, but if you're showing me something else, then you're showing me something else. And so it's one of those things where you have to be able to take some accountability for your own internal struggle. Think about why you have such a hard time liking people. I hear all the time, I don't like people. Well, why don't you? Is it because you don't like yourself? What is it about yourself that you have such disdain for that you won't even allow yourself to be shown to others? That conflict of what you hate about yourself, you need to fix that, or else you'll never like anybody. Yeah. And then nobody will see the authentic you because you don't know the authentic you.
I have a conflict now. I don't like to go to concerts. Why? Because I got to walk. My back hurts. I'm like, immediately, I got a conflict. My boy be like, hey, let's go to this concert. I'm like,
am I getting dropped off up front?
Can I Uber to my seat?
Where we got to park? Where's our seat? Oh, we up front.
How late? Is it?
I gotta get my
is
sleep.
It curfew time?
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, it don't start till 10? I don't know.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. But yeah, these are all things that we have to really sort of as a society kind of grab a hold of and be like, number one, why is it an issue? Why are we having this conflict in the first place? Why are we disagreeing? What is this all about? And is this a healthy debate? Or is it a tit for tat where, hey, I hit you and you hit me harder? Why? Because I hit you and it hurt? Then your mind is, oh, I got to hurt him one back. Yeah. That's not how it should be. First of all, ask yourself, why did it hurt?
Reason why we have gang violence.
It's like, why did it hurt? He hit me or she hit me, it hurt. Why did it hurt? They're words. But like I said, women know how to cut deep. Mm-hmm. And then you have to ask yourself, is what she's saying true, or is what he's saying true and that's why it hurt? And if it's true, there's no conflict. You just refuse to believe it.
Think about all our lives and the comments we get after. It was, well, I'm not this way. Like, why are you taking it personally? If you have to take it personally,
yep,
you might need to take an assessment of why you feel why you're taking it personally, because there might be some truth there.
Yeah, if you feel some kind of way about something somebody said to you, most people, like a lot of times you'll hear me talk about the shit people will say to me in the office. Mm-hmm. I bring it up because I want the public to know that it still goes on. I brush that shit off in front of them. It's not even an argument. I just look at them. And in my mind, I've already realized if you're ignorant or uneducated in whatever the subject is we're talking about, if I have more knowledge about something than you, then it is no longer a debate. It's that simple. If you're not in medicine, you can't debate me on what I do. I won't debate a rocket scientist about the space telescope.
I always think Muhammad Ali. I don't know everything, but I'm always right.
You know, I'm not going to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson on astrophysics, just like he's not going to come debate me on how to fix a spine.
Right.
So if you come and argue with me about some shit you found on Google, I'm not going to argue with you because you have way less knowledge than I do about this particular subject matter. And if I argue with you about it, I'm belittling my intellect in order to step down to your level to have a debate. I'm not bringing you up to mine. I'm stepping down to yours. That shit never works. We can have opinions about certain things that aren't fact. It's just feelings and opinions. Cool. We're on the same playing field.
Right.
But if you try to battle me on some shit you read once and I've studied my entire life, there's no battle. I'm not even going to battle you and be like, whatever. I'm just going to look at you like, whatever. Believe what you want. You know? But people don't know how to do that because they like that high from the fight.
The fight, to think they know, to think they feel a certain way. They think that entitlement of knowing because they've read something. Like, you know, get people come to me. Well, I need to do lightweights, high reps, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why are you coming to see me? This first thing I always say, well, why are you coming to see me? It's obvious you know what you need to do. There's no need.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to save you money. Well, what do you need to? You don't have to pay me.
Do nothing.
Put
Go
that
online.
go online. Put that in your bank account. Pay yourself. Obviously.
You know better. You don't have to pay me to do what you read.
Right.
You know, there's certain things that don't deserve an argument, that don't deserve a debate, because there is no conflict. There's somebody who knows the facts,
right,
and the facts will always be the facts no matter how you spin them. And there's somebody who knows only a piece of the facts. And so the person who knows the facts isn't trying to change their mind. It's always the person who knows very little trying to change yours.
Right.
And because of that, it's like, I know the facts. I'm not going to battle you. I'm just going to be like, okay, cool. And I'm going to walk away knowing exactly what I know, whereas you're walking away no smarter. You know? But yeah, I think people, they thrive off of that conflict. They thrive off of that drama, men and women alike, you know, and men are more likely to be like, all right, fine, way quicker than a woman is like, all right, fine. Because it's never over. I'm going to say this because y'all can get as mad as you want. When we as men and women have an exchange, when we're done, it's done. With women, it's never over. It's always to be continued. You just don't know when part 2's coming.
Like I always say, I just state my case. That's it.
Yeah.
I said what I said. I'm done.
Is it? There's nothing behind it,
you
below
keep
it,
fighting
around it.
Because I've already said it.
And once the conversation's over, in our mind, it's over. We've resolved it. Conflict resolution does not happen in the mind of a woman because it will always be part of the next conflict.
That's what I love. Can I ask you a question? I started off, I go back. Just take everything they use and use it against. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever thought about it this way? Put everything right back. Have you ever thought what I would be thinking about that?
No.
And I just sit and wait. And they don't have an answer. But it's all right. I try to put it off me as much as I can. As I humanly can. But, you know.
Yeah, like I've always said, you know, women don't say what they think. They say what they feel.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. Oh, man, we go on forever talking about conflicts.
Oh, my God.
Because it's an eternal battle that will always be. Time goes on, it just continues on.
And, you know, it's crazy because you get to the point where you're like, as a man, you're like, when is it coming?
Right? Because you don't know.
When is it coming? Because we don't have battles. So it's like, for us, it's like, when's the next one? I did, let me.
Did I do this? Did I make sure that the garbage was out? Did I forget our birthday? Did I forget our anniversary? We're good.
Checklist.
I'm good on all those fronts.
Yeah.
I said, I'm sorry. I didn't do anything, but I said, I'm sorry. Just to cover me for the day.
Sorry.
You're saying sorry for it. I can't remember what it was, but I'm sorry that I didn't do it.
Say it, text it, and then send voice text. Sorry.
I'm covered.
Different components,
Oh, yeah.
different times of the day.
And then it's a battle. Well, why are you apologizing if you didn't do anything? Well, what did you do? Shit.
And then send a story as well.
I mean. Oh, man. Always a pleasure. Anyway, man, let's get the fuck up out of here.
All right. We're wrapping this up. Bye.
Oh, my God. Coach KJ, where they going to find you, man?
They're going to find me at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com.
You're going to find me at Lionel Hunt on IG. You'll find me at huntspine.com. Go check out thehuntfoundation.org.
Check it out.
SOE_podcast on IG and podcastSOE.com.
Everything SOE.
Go like, subscribe, go to YouTube, Spotify, all the places you'd like to catch your podcast. We are there. Every Wednesday, new episode comes out. Every Saturday, we do a little warm up to get you guys involved.
Make it hot.
With that, man, we out.